What is up, everybody? This is Zacharias. We're back with more of Avernum 2 Crystal Souls. We went on quite the journey to the Vahnatai lands, and here we are now in the town of Avernum. So let's explore. A narrow stone bridge arcs over the river. There is a small peaceful island at the west end in the very center of the village. You approach an ancient Vahnatai. He sits and meditates under an unusually tall cavewood tree, as the town is rebuilt around him. When you approach, he stands and turns to you. When he speaks, you recognize him as the Vahnatai who contacted you in Formello. I am Bon Erno. Welcome, human outsider, to the land of the Vahnatai. There is much we need to learn about you human persons, and we have long to journey. I've seen you before. Why did you call me to come and see you? He smiles and shakes his head. Oh, so much work. Learning your tongue, learning of your people, struggling for peace. It is all so hard after the theft. He struggles to speak your language, but he's doing all right. That does sound like a lot of work. Yes, after the resting, when we found of the theft and learned of your people, we all had to learn so much so fast. Some on how to attack, some on how to talk to you. And now that I am here, I have much to tell you of the resting, of the great theft, of what you must do. Why were the Vahnatai people resting? Yes. I must say the tale. Every millennium or so, despite our best efforts, we Vahnatai use up the food in the caves. When this happens, we are able to magically hibernate, to give everything time to recuperate. We only just woke from our last resting a year ago. When this happened, we discovered a horrible theft. 3 of the crystal souls were gone. What was the theft? We Vahnatai recently rose from a resting of centuries. When we awoke, we discovered a horrible theft. 3 of the crystal souls were gone. What is a soul crystal? Not soul crystals, crystal souls. It is not a crystal with a soul inside it. It is a soul-taken crystal form, a soul of an honored leader, a Bach, staying with us in physical form to provide comfort and guidance. They are our race's greatest prize. To have stolen them is one of the greatest crimes against us one can commit. How did the theft happen? When we ended the resting, we rebuilt the home of the souls of our greatest box. Not long after, 3 were stolen, the guards slain by human weapons. He quivers with anger. This taught us of humans, and it was then the council called for your doom. It is because of this that I had you come here. You must go to the council to be read. Bon Erno stares at you with his featureless gray eyes. The dense network of wrinkles in his gray skin betrays him as ancient, but he is still healthy and nimble. What sort of things do you need to still learn about my people? There is much we do not understand about your kinds, the human and Nephil and Slith persons. We do not know how many tribes you have, or how they behave towards each other. Our magic is stronger than yours, but we do not know how much. We do not know your beliefs or your morals. We are learning, though, but not as fast as we should be. You are an older Vahnatai? Yes, my age is... You surface things have something called a year. I believe that my time spent in waking is over 200 of your years. Such is the greatness of my age. As is our custom, I do not count the years I spent in resting. How did you learn our language, and how did you send your image to Formello? We Vahnatai, we are a magical race. It is needed for us to survive in the caves for the many years. Our magic is strong. We walk past, humans do not. It is how I invited you to take the journey here. We are impressed you survived the journey. We would learn of your magic if I could. That may be possible, or maybe not. Take the ferry to Egli, to the south. There, on island, you might be able to persuade some to teach you of our powers. How is your magic different from ours? So many ways. We draw our power from the innate flow and energy of the rock and the caves and the heat of the deep earth. And, most importantly, crystals. Crystals are sacred, pure things, source of inspiration and focus. During our journey here, we were attacked by several groups of Vahnatai. Did you know of this? We are not all of one mind. Some of us have different regard for aliens, as some of us call you humans, and Nephilim, and Sliths. And some would prefer that politics not be muddied by idea of peace with you. During the journey, I passed the tomb of someone named Davros Bach. Know anything about it? A crystal soul, the spirit of one of our revered leaders. It was good of you to pay homage to him. This impressed us. We were thankful for your honor. What must I do? The council in Olgai called for the doom of the humans in the underworld. If a disastrous war is to be prevented, we must act fast. It is because of this that I had you come here. You must go to the council to be read. What will going before the council accomplish? I believe there may be many types of humans with many beliefs, and using our magics to destroy all of you is, for now, wrong. If we could get the council free to question you, then the truth could be known and we could act with wisdom. Their magics are awesome. If your people are not to die, you must prepare. We have gifts for you. What sort of magic can the council perform? The council, our overly hasty rulers, created the barriers that choke your lands. They even now prepare disease spells which will ravage and decay your people, enormous shockwaves which will bury them in giant cave-ins. If you stole our crystal souls, it is what you deserve. It would be justice. But if not, it would be a great crime. What is the first gift? It is a very simple, highly magical ritual we have modified so you can take part in it without damage. Hopefully. It will mark you so that you can travel in our lands free from attack. When it is done, return to me. I'll be moving on. Good. Yes, continue your journey toward peace. Much depends on you. Our hopes travel with you. There in the small, low building is heavy with incense. To the south is a small fire pit, burning a mix of lichen and strange mosses. To the north are 3 pools of colorful liquid. Each pool has a stone kneeling pad in front of it, provided for those who wish to use pools in some way. On the floor before you, a Vahnatai male sits cross-legged on a prayer mat. He opens his eyes, revealing the usual unsettling pure gray eyes. You think he is still looking at the pools, but since he doesn't have pupils, you can't be sure. He says, without turning his head, I am Sarah. Welcome. Here I wait. Fortunately, he speaks your tongue. What are you doing here? I am a ponder, and I wait. As he speaks, his eyes continue to face perfectly forward. His mouth barely moves. The rest of him is perfectly still. It is very eerie. Okay, what's a ponder? A ponder does thinking and watching, and guides people without bias. I am blessed to be a ponder. We wait. Me and my Iglet. Iglet? My partner, from before the resting. She should be near. She has given thought to your coming. You should hear what is out of her. Sarah stares at his pools. His position is and long, spindly legs give him the appearance of some strange, gray-skinned insect. What else? We talk. I wait. What are you waiting for? You're kind. I keep pools prepared for human persons. It's a Vahnatai ritual you can be performing. It is our ritual of welcoming. We used to mark. He struggles for a word. Outsiders. Yes. Mark as being our guest. I can teach you, so you can be welcomed by us. What is involved in the ritual? The ritual is skimming your fingers in a caress across all the waters, going from darkest hue to lightest, as you are now going from the dark of being outside us to the light of acceptance. He nods to the pools as if motioning to you to them. What are those pools there for? For the ritual. I tend them as I wait. A small basin is set in the floor here. The depression is covered with a pattern of polished tiles. The tiles are rough and crude. The basin contains a small amount of dark purple liquid. You touch the liquid. It's slightly warm and slightly sticky. You pull your fingers out and wipe them off. You feel a chill. Nothing else happens. Alright, now it's dull brown liquid. Now it's milky white liquid. When you touch your fingers to the surface of the fluid, an almost electrical tingling sensation crawls up your arms, into your torso, and then through your entire body. It feels like spiders are walking all over you on the inside. You receive a strange feeling of, for lack of a better word, rearranging, both in your skin and in your mind. The change in your skin is minor. You feel like you've been marked in some way. Whether good or bad, you can't tell. The change in your mind, however, is profound. Words Vahnatai have said which you didn't understand suddenly make connections in your mind, as if some force moved them through your brain until they sat next to the right word in your tongue. It's a strange and powerful magical effect, and a useful one as well. You will now be able to communicate with any Vahnatai you meet. For you, nothing. You have been welcome to us. They are here for those who follow you. Follow us to be welcome in peace. The ritual is performed. You are marked. Words out of you are understood. We will all see that you are welcome. Warning. If you are evil to us, you take our anger. I perform the ritual in the Chamber of Meditations. Bon Erno nods, very pleased. Now you speak like us, but you are not one of us. You must take part in our ways to speak to the council. With Vahnatai help with the test, you need to win entry. Then, maybe there can be peace. He removes the scroll from his pouch and hands it to you. This is the map of our lands. Very rough, but it may help. You really believe that peace is possible between our races? Some say peace is impossible since humans took our leaders' souls and killed their guards. But I want peace with the humans not responsible. Just because some of you may be evil doesn't mean you all are. Alas, to some, this is a radical, foolish view. Tell me more about the council. The council, ruler through our tribe, sits in Olgai. Now that you are capable of speaking with them, we also can make you a guest of the Vahnatai, enabling you to enter and see them. How do I make the council see me? By test. Ritual tests of the Vahnatai used to make those of other tribes prove worthiness to join ours. Go now and speak with Vahnatai. She is in the southeast barracks. Make her tell you of the test. She will not want to. When they are done to her satisfaction, you may go to Olgai and meet our council. Okay. Here's Vahnatai then. This female Vahnatai is formidably armed. Wickedly pointed razor discs are strapped across her chest, and a heavy two-handed wave blade is strapped across her back. Unfortunately, she isn't at all happy to see you. The Vahnatai are alien to you, but some things are obvious. Outsider. Aloud. I am Vahnatai, commander of Avit. Greetings, warrior. The pale gray of her face darkened slightly. I am supposed to be helping to you. Not liking. Her use of your tongue is slow and awkward. I must be acting like you weren't stealing. I haven't stolen anything from the Vahnatai. She smiles grimly. I said not things about human stealing. Her voice suddenly turns bitter. To say human stealing is interfere with peace. That would be wrong. Forbidden. You want peace between our peoples, right? Yes. Peace. He spits out the last word as if it was poison. Forbidden by who? Bon Erno soft peace talk listened to. Not always be. When you fail, we rise. Vahnatai watches you carefully, almost seeming to hope for an excuse to rip you apart. She looks like she could do it too. Are you aware that I found a book of human magic in the possession of some hostile Vahnatai? She thinks. Heard of Bon Erno's watching. Book in ruined fort on river. Yes, we are aware. It upsets us. To think some of us might be helping your thief kind upsets us. We were glad you learned it. Means do fewer tests, please, counsel. Can you train me? This I not do. Even if you no steal crystal souls, you steal. Human persons steal caves. Take food lands of Vahnatai. You not our friends. Never will be. I was told that you could help with some tests. He looks angry that you know to ask. Yes, have orders. Help you reach Olgai Council. Prove yourself as worthy outsider. Go on. I must talk of 3 tests, all south and southeast, of strength, speed, and patience. When in test, one of you only can entering and pass through. Are dangerous. To see council, must do right number. They demand you do enough. And what number will be enough? The council of Olgai think they would be seen with no test. The ordeal feats you suffer seen as proof of skill and honestness. For what it matters. Hope that they give you justice. Okay, we definitely have not completed enough tests. And I would explore, but I do want to get this part of being friendly to the Vahnatai, or get marked as a visitor. Here you get your first good view of the land of the Vahnatai. The ceiling is lower, the glowing fungus on the roof is dimmer, and the floor are different. It's strange how such subtle differences in the caverns can make you feel so alien. Okay, that is a rough map, but I think we can manage. You meet a heavily armed patrol of Vahnatai guards marching in a careful formation. When they see you, they run swiftly towards you. The creatures are very fast. You don't bother to try to outrace them. One of them shouts, "Identify yourselves, aliens, now or suffer our wrath." Raising your hands in a peaceful gesture, you say, "We have performed the welcome ritual in Avet. We mean you no harm." They stop short, amazed that they can understand you. They whisper amongst themselves, and their leader says, "Fine then, you may pass. If you have been allowed to wander our lands, we will not interfere." Then, looking back at you distrustfully, they march off. It's a relief. Alright, a test of strength. The portal before you glows and flickers greedily at your approach. A soft voice says, "Here lies the test of the Vahnatai. One of you may enter." Strangely, the voice is speaking your tongue. "Choose the strongest and surest in battle, or you will fall before the enemy fangs. Choose wisely, else death is certain." Well, let's go ahead and send Moses, since he's pretty strong. You enter the first room of the test, a hall filled with statues of young Vahnatai. Whether the statues are victims of the test or victors is not immediately clear. A section of the floor just to the wall to the south is heavily decorated with a variety of small symbols and markings. When you get close, the writing glows brightly for a moment. Where there was empty air before, there is now a monster, and moves to attack. This magical device must be how the test is restocked with monsters. The moldy chamber is dimly lit by a pair of braziers filled with glowing stones. There is a pit in the center of the chamber. Its floor is covered with numerous colonies of mold. Well, no wonder why they're generous with healing potions and like these individual events, because that stuff like this. That's it. There is a small pool of fresh water here. It looks refreshing, but who knows? Resisting the temptation may just be another test. The water is refreshing and makes you feel energized. As you enjoy the invigorating, tingling sensation, the pool rapidly dries up. Okay, I didn't... That was if I put a mage here, then... Or priest here. Yeah, fortunately, the skeletons are no problem at all. The crypt is simply empty. It seems to have been here mainly for show. The undead here seem to have been generated from chalk and old flecks of random bones. When you step into the portal, a bright green glow appears and envelops you. There is a familiar feeling and a sense of vertigo, and then you find yourself back at the entrance. The voice returns. You have passed the test. Go now to find your earned place among our people. Okay, so we did a test for Seraphina and a test for Moses. You are at the edge of a ruin of what was once a remarkable city. Sections of the unstable wall are all that is left of what must have been elegant, delicately curving spires. Fragments of tile are the final remains of hundreds of intricate mosaics. It's all gone now, though, lost to cave quakes, wandering monsters, and the passing of the centuries. At least now there's a supply of Vahnatai to rebuild it. Okay, well, I know the tests aren't going to be too far off here. You reach the portal, which glows and flickers greedily at your approach. A soft voice says, "Here lies the test of the Vahnatai. One of you may enter." Strangely, the voices speak in your tongue. Here, one must be fleet of foot and resist all impulses to linger. Choose wisely, else failure is certain. Well, Raylin is our archer and focuses on dexterity, so let's send her for this. When you walk between the crystals, you hear an ominous clicking noise. Behind you, a section of wall drops into the floor, revealing a ball of flame. With a booming noise and a cloud of smoke, the flames pour out, roaring down the passage toward you. You don't have time to explore, so just go ahead and continue on here. When you step inside this room, you try to close the door behind you. It refuses to budge. The fire continues to chase you. With a mighty effort, aided by your growing panic, you turn the wheel. With a loud clanking noise, portcullises to the east slide open. Unfortunately, at the same time, the wall to the west slides into the floor. Okay, don't worry about any, loot or anything. Suddenly, a nearby wall slides away, revealing yet another wall of searing flame. Fireproof goblins, so they can definitely handle the fire. Could go ahead and try to get one of the... Go ahead and get this loot real quick. That bonus chance to that skill doesn't really do anything, so we're going to sell that. Once again, with depressing familiarity, a wall slides away, revealing a caldera of quickfire. It's right behind you. When you reach the end of the corridor, a bright green glow appears and envelops you. There is a familiar feeling of vertigo, and you find yourself back at the entry portal. The voice speaks again. You have passed the test. Go now to strive towards your earned place among our people. So yeah, there was really nothing you can do about looting right there. You have to just keep moving. You thread your way carefully through a heavy forest of stalagmites. You walk slowly. One slip could result in a nasty impaling. Ooh, can always use the return life scroll, yeah. This long gallery stretches several miles to the southeast. Dotted all along its length are burial mounds and memorial pillars, some in tight clusters, some alone. The Vahnatai must have been laying their dead to rest here for centuries. There is a very grim aura about this place. It's as if a foul spirit came to inhabit this place during the Vahnatai centuries of sleep. You think you see movement among the more distant cairns, and you hear faint howls in the distance. I don't want to worry about that then. I just want the test. Ah, here it is. You reach the portal, which glows and flickers greedily at your approach. A soft voice says, "Here lies a test of the Vahnatai. One of you may enter." Strangely, the voice is speaking your tongue. The one you send must not be soft of head or weak of spirit, for the puzzle beyond is a cunning one. Choose carefully. Well, all the others have done tests, so why don't we go ahead and send Lazarus? And he's definitely not light in head. He's definitely pretty intelligent, so let's do that. This room is full of odd brass stands. They are carefully placed on an elaborate grid of lovely floor tiles. They are arranged in a peculiar pattern. The meaning of it is not instantly apparent. There are two magic circles attached to the grid. One of them is crude and has several skulls in it. Another is lovely, ornate, and free of chunks of dead things. Each of the circles has one of the stands in it. The moment you set foot into the chamber, sparks appear to float in the air around one of the stands. The other stands remain dark. They wait quietly for you to do something. You touch the orb. Sparks leap over from a nearby orb, flowing in a pattern over the cracks between the darker tiles. The orb is now sparking. Okay, obviously you want to get to this circle right here. Make sure you follow the dark tiles. It is kind of like a maze. When the sparks float into this magical circle, they stop. They hang confused in the air for a moment. Then all sparks begin to slowly fade away. At the same time, the gate out of the room begins to open. We really can't get to that treasure. Again, pretty much same thing. You pull the lever, immediately snaps back to its original position. You hear the sound of stone grinding on stone coming from just outside. Oh, great. One point here. Point there. And of course, we're going to invest in sage lore like we did with the others. Well, I don't know if he can use... He definitely can't use an iron helmet, but he can use other stuff. Where is he? Oh, sweet. That gate opened there for this, whatever this is. A gleaming dagger. Nice. When you reach the end of this corridor, a bright green glow appears and envelops you. There is a familiar feeling of vertigo, and you find yourself back with the rest of your party. The voice speaks again. Well done. The test is complete. You were successful. Now, obviously, for the encounter with Dara Spock and all this other stuff, you don't have to go in the order I did or use the characters I did, but it was pretty convenient. You can do it with any character you want and all this stuff. Let me make sure I did this right. 13. Okay, yeah, this is the way I wanted it. But yeah, you don't have to do it in the order I did it or use the character types I use. But it is pretty convenient how each of the tests pretty much played to like a certain potential party build. Like my priestess took care of the paying homage to the great leader, which is perfect for a priest anyway. There is a tower on an island in the middle of the lake to the south. There is a ferry to the island at the end of the nearby dock. Step on the dock to use the ferry. Yeah, the priest showed homage to the leader that we had Moses do the test of strength, which plays up to a warrior type. The test of speed plays to a dexterity type. And test of patience plays to a mage type, which I think is interesting. Although, like I said, you can pretty much do those tests however you want. I performed the ritual in the chamber. Oh, I believe I've completed enough tests to face the council and old guy. Then go there. Open yourself to them. Hide nothing. Submit. Only then can you gain their trust. Only then can their wrath be turned aside. I hope they do not kill you. Good luck. A large mass of Vahnatai guards keep close watch to the city. They are very concerned when they see you approach. They move closer. You stop moving. They draw their weapons. You stop to back away. One of them screams, "Drop blades or perish." You set your weapon down. This seems to calm them down a lot. They walk up to you and ask where you came from. You tell them about Avet and the ritual of welcoming. They seem rather upset that they have to let you go. However, you are technically their guest. They allow you to pick up your weapons and proceed. As Vahnatai sees that you are approaching the gate, they raise their weapons in a salute. One of them shouts, "The envoys approach Olgai." Moments later, the gates open. The Vahnatai city of Olgai is allowing you to enter. To the south is the large intact Vahnatai building you have seen. It is a tall, beautiful dome formed of delicate blue-veined stone. You can recognize the words carved above the large open gate. Council Hall. When you try to enter the council chamber, one guard stops you and another nervously enters to announce your presence. You hear several minutes of animated argument escalating to loud shouting. Then it dies down abruptly. The guard returns, looking deeply unsettled. "They say you can enter," he says, barely believing his own words. You enter the council chamber of the Vahnatai people, the first humans ever to do so. Before you is a huge stone table at which sit 3 Vahnatai lords, old and wrinkled. There are 2 males and 1 female. They beckon for you to approach. You do so. The woman says, "Welcome, humans. Despite my 2 friends' objections, I, in our honor, have demanded you be allowed to enter. I am Process Bach. Welcome." She indicates the younger of the 2 men. "This is Glantris Bach." He nods, scowling. She begins to introduce the other man, but he cuts her off. Glantris Bach says, "I can speak as well as you, Process. I am Glantris Bach, alien. Process wants you here to determine if all the persons of the upper caves are pallid, worthless, honorless thieves, and vermin or not. Von Erno brought you here for that reason, and here you are. Yes, we have brought you here to scry you. We will look inside your paltry spirits to try and understand you and estimate your worthiness. It is not harmful, but will let us know some measure of your spirit." Process nods. "Time is short, violence is everywhere, and the need to know is great. Will you permit us to look inside you?" He looks at you hopefully. We don't really have a choice here, so we might as well just agree. "I agree, you may inspect me." The moment you utter assent, the council members close their eyes. Suddenly, racking pain lances through your minds. You drop to your knees. It may not be harmful, but it sure hurts. You start remembering your lives, your arrivals in Avernum, your struggles to survive, your training, your triumphs and failures, and, most vividly, your fights against the Empire. The memories are more intact than you had suspected. The dredging up of your life stories continues. For how long, you cannot tell. Fortunately, the council has some idea of what you consider private. It only touches the high and public points, leaving the shadowy recesses of your minds alone. Then the pain becomes too much. You black out. You awaken to find the Vahnatai kneeling by you, bowls of water in their hands. Pillows have been placed under your heads. You stand shakily and see the council. The face of Process is lit up in triumph and relief. The 2 men look profoundly worried and disturbed. Then, Process speaks. "It is clear that you humans are more complicated than we estimated, and that we must begin efforts to find the actual perpetrators of the crime against us. This empire seems a hostile force we should look at carefully. For now, it has been decided that the barriers in your caverns will be dissolved. We know better what is happening now. Their purpose has been served. This is an incredible relief. Now you may return to your lands. He points at the door in the eastern corridor. We created a portal between our lands and yours in expectation of war. Perhaps it may be used for other purposes. One can only hope. The portal is permanent. You will be able to return through it. This is important, for we have an offer to make you. We ask you to recover our crystal souls and return them to the shrine to the southwest, their home. If you can recover all three of them, and if you of Avernum were not the thieves, we will lend our support to you in your war against the Empire. Our numbers are small, but our power is great. Elohai Bach stands to speak. We were very disturbed by the book you found in the Vahnatai possession, a book of clearly human origin. It is possible that a band of Vahnatai are dealing secretly with humans. That would truly be horrible. If you find evidence of this, bring it to us immediately. Glantrus Bach speaks. We still do not trust you, but it is clear more is happening than we understand. We do not know why Vahnatai attacked you at the River Fort ruins. We know nothing of their actions. They were not of us, and their presence was very disturbing. Be careful. Vahnatai people may be no more united of purpose than the humans. Elohai chimes in. And should you find evidence of the location of one of our crystal souls, bring it to us with all speed. We may be able to give you aid in recovering it. Finally, Process speaks. Remember, we will stop at nothing to rescue the spirits of our ancestors, and if you help us, our rewards will be great. Thank you for the risk you took in coming here. But, she said sadly, sitting, the worst is ahead for all of us. I am sure of it. Glantrus and Elohai nod at this, and then they say no more. The stern, aged leader of the Vahnatai sits at the end of the table, lost in thought. He still doesn't trust you, but he is at least willing to tolerate your presence. I am Glantrus, a Bach of the Vahnatai people and their sworn protector. May I ask what you are thinking about? I am contemplating the reasons why some of you humans have decided to dishonor us. What do you think the reasons might be? My theory is this. Many of the Bachs have had magical powers, and these powers were retained by their crystal forms. The thieves may have felt our ancestors to be little more than precious magical items. He seems repulsed by the notion. You humans greatly value your magical items. I shudder to think the spirits of my predecessors could be considered mere stones, trinkets. What sorts of magical powers do the crystal souls have? They could use all the spells they could cast in life, and many more. The thieves must have been powerful to avoid being slain by the crystal souls outright. I do not want to dishonor the Vahnatai. Perhaps I will not accuse you, but some humans are lowly creatures indeed. You have to understand the importance of the crystal souls to us. They are the living history, wisdom, and conscience of their people. They are living beings, the most valued of us all. What do you think of... Glantrus sits and watches you carefully. Even after all you've done, he still seems to be analyzing you, trying to find a flaw. What do you think of Avernum? When all three of the crystal souls have been returned, it would be best for you to ask that question. Until then, I will be unable to regard you surface invaders with anything but honest loathing. Do you have any advice on how to find the crystal souls? I think I do. We have been watching you, Avernites, you call yourselves. We hear speak often of a female of the human species, a powerful one named Erica. If she is skilled in magic, she may be able to help you track the souls down. I will speak with Erica. Yes, her lands are remote, but there is one who speaks with her. We know of him from our snooping. Is this a word? The wizard's name is Solberg. He is near your Formello city. A tired Vahnatai, perhaps middle-aged, stares at you with huge, pale eyes. I am Elohai Bach, servant of the Vahnatai people. He wears a delicate golden torque. Elohai was silent during your interrogation, and he is mostly quiet now. He watches your movements silently, fascinated by your alien form. What are you working on? He holds up the thick sheets of papers covered with calculations, notes, and thick books of cramped handwriting. It has fallen to me, I am afraid, to ponder the future. What do you predict will happen in the future? Beyond the wars, the caves now are very different from what they were when we began our last resting. There are humans now, and Nephilim and Nepharim, and the Sliss, and the other races you told us of, and only we can hibernate. One day, I fear we will fall to squabbling. How often do the Vahnatai hibernate? Every few centuries, to give the caves a chance to regenerate. Life down here is hard, as you no doubt have found. The resources required to live are limited. Squabbling over the caves? Yes, we are only one of many tribes, and there is only so much space in our caves. The future may be ugly. The question is whether you may all one day be happier on your surface. Many Avernites would be happier on the surface. That is where you belong. I suspect we will need to fight the Empire one day. When we do, the battle may continue to the surface. Perhaps you will then be able to return there. It looks down at his nose and back up at you. I cannot be sure, but in the long run, this may be the only way for all of us to have peace. Where do you think I should... Though Elohai's eyes are pointing at you, he doesn't seem entirely present. Part of his mind is distracted by your alien form. Otherwise, he is simply lost in thought. Where do you think I should look for the crystal souls? I spent every spare moment trying to answer that question. As yet, I have learned nothing. Speak with others on the council. They may know more. Did you want me to be brought to Vahnatai lands? I feel that it was a foolish act. It revealed us to the humans and brought us no gain in return. Were you to recover a crystal soul, I might change my opinion, but I have little faith in you. You made a tall, stately Vahnatai woman, wearing the thin gold torque all the Box wear. She is the only member of the council who stood up for you, but she is cautious when you approach. You still have much to prove. I am Process Bach, friend to the Vahnatai people. I will be friend to you if you prove yourself worthy of our trust. We should not have attacked Avernum so quickly. What do you do for the Vahnatai? I contemplate the direction our people will take in this time of turmoil. I look for the direction we may travel to find peace. Then I make my recommendations to the council. Often, we disagree. Why are you seeking peace? Living in these caves is a hard thing in the best of times. War makes it nearly impossible. What ideas have you come up with? I contemplate our direction to take in the future. Whom to attack, how and when, and whether the group we are attacking is the right one. Alas, our targets aren't always the correct ones, as you now know. Why did you Process absentmindedly rubs her torque of office as she watches you? What is it, creature from the surface? How may we have peace with Avernum? She seems intent on assisting you as well as she can. Why did you attack Avernum so quickly without even trying to contact us? That was unfortunate. Lantris and Elohai fear and dislike humans, although they can still be rational when faced with facts. Rentar Erno is much the same way and is much more powerful. Exactly how powerful is Rentar Erno? She is the greatest of our mages. She created the barriers in your lands, and she constantly looks for ways to defend our people and assault our enemies. She is difficult to control at times, but she is truly our greatest strength. Doesn't that sound familiar? Very much like our Avernum's mage Erica, right? Where do you think the lost crystal souls might be hidden? I don't know. It is important to admit when one is ignorant. Speak with others on the council and give me time. I will try to learn more. It seems like everyone we have met knew about our journey to your lands. That is because we watched everything. We saw every step of your journey using our magic viewing crystals. We judge you by the courage you showed during the perilous trip. Could I use a viewing crystal? At this point, it would not be for the best. When all 3 crystal souls are returned, perhaps. Okay, so that looks like that's all we're gonna get out of them. Was one of the dang Vahnatai was blocking the way it looks like. Okay. So at this point, the barriers are down in Avernum. We can go explore. We can go back to Avernum if we want. But we are going to explore a little of the Vahnatai lands before we go back to Avernum, because there is stuff we can do here. The barriers have been taken down. I will try to recover your crystal souls. This fills me with glad. Perhaps my efforts will lead to the good. Perhaps eternal war between your people and mine is not necessary. I'll be moving on. Good. Yes, continue your journey toward peace. Much depends on you. Our hopes travel with you. Alright, so I'm gonna save the game right here, but I'll see you all soon with the next part of Let's Play.